Hey everyone, my name is Megan Guidry and I am training lead for New Zealand eScience infrastructure. I prepared a little presentation for anyone curious about what has been going on in the HPC Carpentry space recently because activity has been picking up. But first, what is HPC Carpentry? HBC Carpentry is a hands-on carpentry style introduction to high-performance computing that is for people who are new to HPC and want to use it effectively for research. And now what is really exciting is that there has been a big uptick in contributors to the HBC Carpentry material in 2020 and 2021. The figure you are seeing now on your screen shows the number of contributions to the HBC intro lesson on GitHub, and there is clearly a nice big spike at the 2020-2021 area. And so you might be curious, how do all of these contributors share the workload and cooperate with each other? Well, there is a task force that meets fortnightly for a co-working session. Work is kept visible on GitHub, and now the task force is in the process of forming a steering committee. The steering committee elections are open to the whole Carpentries community. So if you want to be a part of the committee or want to vote, please go to the GitHub link that you see posted on your screen. Nominations and voting will be open until May 27th, which is when the next task force meeting will be. So do check it out if you're keen to be involved in some way. Steering committee members will be responsible for guiding lesson and curriculum development and interfacing with the Carpentries as the task force builds up the lesson program. Now, if you haven't been involved with HBC Carpentry Task Force, you may be wondering what work has been happening and where things are going. I asked the task force regulars to answer a few questions to give you a better idea of the dynamic and share with you. I will share with you now a few of those responses. In terms of top priorities, the task force seems to be very keen to get some feedback from learners so that they can get a feel for where the existing lessons, where in the existing lessons there is confusion or areas for improvement. There was also mention of continuing to grow the budding community, and hopefully having the steering committee will help with that growth. And just to be super clear about the governance and where the Carpentries, HBC Carpentry community is heading in that regard, the task force is forming a steering committee at this point in time for a few different reasons. One is that we aspire for the HBC Carpentry to join the Carpentries as a formal lesson program, and to do that we need a steering committee. Two, as more people get involved, it's harder to know who should do what when. So having a steering committee will help clear up some confusion there and help with some decision making. And lastly, we want to make sure our diverse community is fairly represented in the development of the HBC Carpentry material, and suspect the steering committee model will help us achieve better outcomes than the kind of benevolent dictatorship model. And I won't go into the other responses now, but I do want to say thank you to the task force people who took the time to answer my questions. If you want to look at the full conversation or join in the conversation, please go over to the HBC Carpentry Slack channel, which is located in the Carpentries Slack workspace. Now for a quick bit on the HBC Carpentries lessons. All HBC Carpentry lessons are located in the Carpentries Incubator, which is a place for putting lessons that are being worked on currently, being changed around a bit. It's not to be confused with the HBC Carpentry Lab, which is where we will place lessons that are ready for peer review. Currently, it's my understanding that there are no lessons in HBC Carpentry Lab at the moment. Mostly we're working in HBC Carpentry Incubator. And I think that's all I have for the moment. Check out the ways you can keep in touch and stay in the loop for HPC Carpentry. There is a Slack channel that I have mentioned. It's been pretty active lately, so check it out if you're keen. There is also an HBC Carpentry Twitter account, so give it a follow if you are a Twitter user. And let me see if I can find my screen share. Thanks for watching this HBC Carpentry update. Please feel free to share this recording with your friends and colleagues if you think that they're keen to know about where HBC Carpentry stands at the moment.